She's still got it. She's still got it. Bloody love this car. Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol Ped. I've had this car over 12 years. She has been a mainstay of the channel since my very first video. And you know what? When I park her up in a car park, I still look back and go, oh, it's by far and away the longest time I've ever owned a car. But recently, she ticked over a very important milestone. We've just done 80,000 miles. So I thought it was about time I gave you a bit of an update. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you will be more than familiar with this car. As I said, she starred in the very first video I ever made on YouTube and has been a constant presence all the way through my 10 plus years as a YouTuber. But if you're not familiar, she's a 2014 Mini John Cooper Works Roadster. The designator code is an R59. Mini did the Roadster and the Coupe for quite a short period of time, like 2 to 3 years. I don't think they ever sold as well as Mini wanted them to. They were quite significantly higher priced than the standard hatch or the other variants of Mini, but I've always loved them. And now, because of their limited numbers, I mean, there were around 300 John Cooper Works Roadsters in the UK, and now there are a fewer than that because of, I don't know, people scrapping them or crashing them and whatever. I think they're an appreciating car maybe one day. That's my hope anyway. I mean, I certainly still get people coming up and asking what it is. What's that? Is it a Mini? It's like, absolutely, it's a Mini. But I've done lots of things to this car over the years. When I first bought her, she was completely stock. I ran her like that for a while until the warranty ran out, actually. And then we started to play doing things. B-Road Hunting Club were the first guys I worked with. We put her on some coilovers and we blacked out the chrome. And then I went up to the guys at Lowen and we put a stage 2 tune on the car. We ended up going back and putting a Quaife limited slip diff and a racing clutch. Then we ran the car for a while. Then Darren at Mulgari did some work with the car. We changed the tune a little bit. I put Alcon racing brakes on it for a while. Stepped a little bit too far into the track car, I'm afraid. Went back to the stock brakes because I don't really track this car anymore. And then the most recent thing we've done with the guys at Wax is Dead is put this colour change green PPF on with the bronze accents, and I think she looks absolutely lovely. But as I said in the intro, we literally clicked over 80,000 miles a couple of weeks ago, and therefore it's time for a little bit of love and a fairly major service, because I get the car serviced every year with my mate Jack at MWUK, which is just on the outskirts of Chichester, and we do the oil and the standard things on an annual basis. But this time round she needed a little bit more work doing. One of the things I love most about this car is, touch wood anyway, how cheap it is to run. It's not very expensive to insure. The road tax is hardly anything. And in terms of maintenance, an annual service with an oil change was just a few £100. But I knew at 80,000 miles, well, firstly I knew it needed a service, but then I also remembered that the engine in these has a timing chain that needs replacing. And it's, I wouldn't say a known fault, but if you don't replace it, they do have a tendency to go pop. And if one of those goes pop, then believe me, you've got a big bill on your hands. So I messaged Jack and said, look, it's done 80,000 miles. Do you think I should do the timing chain? Because I think this, certainly you should do them before they hit 90,000 miles. And he was like, absolutely. So he has a kit that you can put in the car that then basically means it never needs doing again. So I knew that was going to be a little bit punchy. Another couple of little things that were annoying me with it. It had a knocking noise that had progressively got worse over the last sort of 3 months or so. And it was funny, I was following Tracy in the car a couple of weeks ago and noticed something hanging down underneath the car, and one of the exhaust hangers had come off, and I thought that might be the issue, and it had come off and Jack's fixed that, but also the bushes on the rear suspension kind of needed changing, so there was a little bit of play in those. But I got him to just do a nut check on all of the suspension components to make sure that they were all still fitted correctly and there was no nothing untoward there. And then a few other things, a new set of spark plugs and the standard stuff really. But unfortunately, what that meant was a bill that I thought was going to be a few £100 ended up being 1,100 quid. and I'd only just spent about 2 weeks ago the same amount of money having the McCann service done. But it is a fairly major service, and I've got to say, this isn't a paid promotion or anything. He's just a really top mechanic, and I rate him highly. Jack at MWUK looks after this car and sent me a couple of WhatsApps, and just so experienced, has pointed out a few things that he'd seen on the car that he wasn't particularly happy with and suggested that I change, and I did that. So if you've got a Mini and you live in the West Sussex area and you want someone really good to look after it for you, he's your man. I'll put the details in the description below. So yes, all is now done, so fully serviced. I've got my stamp in the book, 80,000 miles of running. And to be fair to the car, I've not had a major issue in 80,000 miles. Nothing horrible has happened, which I am very, very happy about, but I won't tempt too much fate, so I won't talk about that for any longer. I think the next thing we probably need to do is go for a bit of a drive, because I don't drive the car on the channel very often, and she's such fun to drive. And it was great because I picked the car up last night from Jack, and my mate Will next door, we went together and he drove her back, and he kind of got back and went, oh man, she's great fun, really darty on the front, on the nose. And I think Jack had put her in sport mode, so he was doing a few pops and bangs and things. So let's go out for a bit of a drive and hopefully stay dry with the roof down, because there's these showers sort of blowing through which are really, really annoying. It's rained twice since my last bit to camera, but there's blue sky over there and a bit of sunshine, so I think we're good to go. Now, one of the things I'm most gutted about is, unfortunately, my key ring that I got when I bought the car broke yesterday. And I don't know whether you'll be able to make it out, but it's engraved on the back Ruby. When I bought the car, because I had some work done to it before I picked it up, I had the wheels painted black, I had stripes put on the car and fog lamps on the front. It took a few days, but I'd already christened the car Ruby by then, and the young sales chap that worked at Mini Sunningdale, where I bought the car from, had kind of cottoned onto that. When I collected the car, he'd had Ruby engraved into the back of this keyring, and it's broken, and I don't think it's fixable. I might see if I can fix it with some like super strong adhesive or something, which is such a shame. But don't worry, I have a new Mini key ring that I got when I was in Sweden earlier this year. But let's go for a drive, and I'll tell you more about. Always struggles a little bit when she's cold, and that was a proper cold start. Anyway, let's get cracking. That's more like it. The sun came out so much I even took my jacket off. I get a bit of suntan on my arms. Now, one of the things that has always wound me up about this car is it doesn't have a temperature gauge. So there's no way of actually knowing for sure that the temperature of the engine is up at the right level. So I always drive it for a good 3 or 4 miles just to kind of make sure it's okay before I, push on. But I find myself nowadays driving this car in a quite mellow way, really. I don't push it that hard anymore, even though she's a really perky little car and is actually very, very quick. It's been a while since she's been on a rolling road, but I think somewhere in the region of 270 horsepower is probably where we're at. That's certainly what it was when Lowen first did the Stage 2 tune, and I know when Darren put his tweak on the tune just to smoothen the way the power delivery came in, he was pretty confident that was where we were going to be. But I've got no desire to do that anymore. I went through a phase where I did some track days in the car, I did a few auto solos in it, and it's really, really good at those. I must do another one of those. I always forget they're on. The GRRC do them at Goodwood, and they're a brilliant day out, but I always forget they're on, and by the time I remember, normally they're all booked up. But I've also got to say, it's so lovely not having any knocks and bangs. I don't know what you're like, but whenever my car has something wrong with it, even if it's tiny. I drove around for about 9 months with one of the front headlamp washer covers missing on this car. And it was only a tiny thing and it didn't affect the performance of the car at all, but it got in my head. I absolutely hated it. I can't stand it when there's something wrong with the car. So I got that done, and it's nice now. There's no rattles or bangs. There was also the speaker grill on the front tweeter, the Harman Kardon tweeter on the A-pillar on the passenger side, was just rattling a little bit. And I think I asked Jack to look at it, and I can't hear any rattles. I mean, I've got the roof down, which probably doesn't help the acoustics. So you stick the roof up and you can hear everything. But yeah, when you're on a lovely day like today, she's brilliant to take out for a drive. And the big change in these dampers, so I've got the Bilstein dampers on now, and although the ride is pretty firm, it's just a bit more plush than it was with the coilovers I had on before. And the geometry we've got on the car just makes for really engaging, fun, darty drive. And now this is my manual fix. It's the only manual car I have, and I like taking her out because the pedals are perfectly spaced for heel and towing, and you've got your manual gearbox, and it just reconnects you with driving when you haven't driven a manual for a while. It's also quite funny when Tracy gets in the car and takes it. The amount of time both of us just kind of come up to a junction and forget we're in a manual, forget to depress the clutch, and the car just stalls itself. Anyway, I reckon we go and find ourselves a little bit of fun road and just have some spirited driving, because that's what this car's all about, right? I brought her to one of my favourite bits of road that regular watchers of the channel will recognise. It's a little bit slippy today, kind of wet conditions underfoot, but what I love about this car is she just comes alive at quite slow speeds, and you just get this incredible joyous feeling. Quite understeery at times, especially if you put your power on mid-corner. Quite torque steery at times. That's definitely the case. Traction control kicking in a big way there. But you just find a bit of B-road, and this car just delivers in spades. 12 years of ownership, and I still get a massive smile on my face. And if I think I bought this car for £21,000, I bought it outright, and here we are 12 years later, 80,000 miles later, and I still love it to bits, and it still delivers in every level, whether it's a bit of fun on a B-road like this, or whether it's a long journey. Doesn't matter, you can do miles in this car. It's ever so comfortable. Put the roof up if the weather's not great, although to be honest, the roof's down a lot. I've got this thing called an open-ometer. I wonder whether, let me just see what my current open-ometer status is. Oh yeah, so since I've had this car, I've done 531 hours of driving with the roof down. I think that's pretty good, don't you? But on a sunny day like today, there's no greater joy in driving for me than driving this car. She's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And I kind of now use her probably more than I ever have, really, because I don't care about the miles. I'll quite happily put lots of miles on this. If I've got a boring journey, I don't know, to the airport, or 2 or 3 hours somewhere and it's not a particularly inspiring drive, the last thing I want to be doing is doing that in the Spider or even in the Macan, to be honest. I'd rather do it in this, or if I've got a press car, I'm in a lucky, fortunate position to be able to do that. I came into South Harting just to do a quick UE there to hopefully give us a slightly clearer run up the Petrol Ped hill climb. I'm really glad I spent time washing the car this morning. Probably absolutely filthy already. But let's have a bit of fun up the Petrol Ped hill climb. The road conditions like this are when you're really pleased and glad that I put a Quaife limited slip diff in the car, because it just helps pull you out the corners and just helps with the traction issues a little bit more. If I just turn off traction control altogether, it might be a little bit easier to deal with that on my throttle on my own, rather than the... that's better. Little bit of wheel spin coming out of there. It's so funny. I don't drive her hard that often, and when I do, I just wish I should just do it all the time. Exhaust wise, it's completely stock exhaust. It's got an Akrapovic 100 cell Sport Cat, but everything else is completely stock, and she's always sounded absolutely mega. I thought about basically putting a different exhaust system on there, or taking the middle silencer out or whatever, just to make it sound even better, but I don't think she needs it, to be honest. In terms of things left, well, I think I said in a video just after I'd had the wrap done, or the PPF rather, I would love a set of Recaros in here. That's the only thing left. I'd love to change these seats. I've never been a big fan. This one moves a little bit, and I'm just not a fan. They don't give you a huge amount of support. Biggest challenge is the seats I like are really, really expensive, which is a bit of a pain. Might need to find myself a brand deal maybe. And the ones I really like were the seats you could option when you bought these. They did a set of Recaros with the John Cooper Works emblem on them. And every now and again a set of them pops up on eBay, but they're still holding really, really good money, and I just can't be dealing with that, to be honest. Anyway, so there you go, 80,000 miles in little Ruby Roadster. A car that I can't imagine a situation, touch wood, where I'd ever get rid of her now. I don't know what she'd be worth anyway, not a great deal I wouldn't have thought. It's more sentimental than anything else. But she's just a brilliant car, and if I keep up to date with her maintenance and I make sure she keeps getting nice new oil every year, now she's had her belts done, just brilliant, absolutely brilliant car, and I love it a bit. Anyway, if you enjoyed that, please give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol Ped for plenty more content to come, and I'll see you on the next film. You take care, guys. Drive safe.